Hello everyone, welcome back for another new video on the channel. Today I just want to talk about the situation, the stories that have basically come out in the media today about this whole Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder situation, and also a potential fight between Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua for the undisputed world heavyweight titles, potentially happening next year. So firstly, there was an exclusive brought out by the Daily Mail stating that sources on both sides of the Atlantic had told them that Wilder Fury 3, the trilogy, was being called off indefinitely because basically Deontay Wilder's contractual rights to a rematch that he had expired. Well, not expired now, but was due to expire in the next few weeks, and with a deal unlikely to happen until for the fight to happen until 2021, that would expire without a deal being agreed in principle for that fight to take place next. So yeah, that's what the Daily Mail said. Wilder Fury was off indefinitely. Fury would have a warm-up fight in December, possibly in the UK, whilst Joshua defended his world heavyweight titles against Kubrat Pulev on December the 12th. And of course, like I said, Fury basically defending his titles in a warm-up match, possibly in the UK. But around about an hour and a half or 2 hours later, World Boxing News, that spreads PBC propaganda, unsurprisingly brought out an exclusive, and I say that with caution, exclusive from Deontay Wilder's co-manager Shelley Finkel, basically saying that no, that's not true, and that it's going to happen in December. So yeah, this is basically where we're at. So we've got one side, one side of it saying the fight's off indefinitely. Fury will fight someone else in a warm-up fight this year. Joshua will fight Pulev, and then they'll both get it on next year. And then we've got another side saying, well, Finkel saying, no, that's total rubbish. Wilder is going to fight Fury in December, and that's it, basically. There's nothing else you need to know. So what do I think of this situation? Well, I think, in my personal opinion, Deontay Wilder does not want this fight. He does not want that smoke off Fury again. He got battered from pillar to post in the second fight, and I think he knows the writing is on the wall for him, and I think he knows that this guy is too skillful, and he just can't land his right hand on him, and land his right hand on him to get him out of jail, and that is the only thing that he's got. So I think personally, and I think Hatman said this as well, which I totally agree with him on, I think that Wilder all along has not been keen to take this immediate rematch, but he's been under pressure from Shelley Finkel, Al Heyman especially, PBC in general, and of course Fox, which is his broadcaster that he fights on. I think he's been under pressure from all those people and his other little minions in the background, etc., that profit off him as well. So yeah, that is my personal opinion. In my opinion, the more I think about this, and the more and more, there's been a lot of talking about this Fury Wilder trilogy all summer, and whenever, the likes of Warren, Aram, World Boxing News with their PBC propaganda managing to wheel out Finkel on their thing. Funny how Shelley Finkel only seems to speak for World Boxing News. We haven't heard anything from Deontay Wilder since he got smashed from pillar to post in February. He hasn't come out and said a single thing apart from a couple of cryptic social media post. I think it was back in August, which I think it was translated into something from Russian or something, but I don't know. I think it might have been hating on white or something like that. But yeah. So yeah, basically that is the long and short of it. Wilder Fury, in my opinion, is dead in the water completely, and I think that can only be a good thing. In my opinion. Now, this is the thing that I wanted to talk about. Who will Tyson Fury fight in a warm-up fight this year? Now, if you look at it, there's not really many people available now that this Wilder fight's off. There's not really anyone available. But the one suggestion that I would make for Fury to fight in December, now in my opinion, Pulev is a tough opponent for Joshua. Now I think Fury also needs a decent opponent as well for December to get some, get that rust back into his system and get more in time back into him and that. I personally think Fury should be looking at the likes of Michael Hunter or Tony Yoka to fight to defend his world heavyweight title against in December. I would personally go for Michael Hunter or Tony Yoka. I think that Yoka's come off a brilliant first round win against Duopa, and I think he's dangerous and he'll come to fight. Yeah, he might not have a great defense, but he's game. He'll come to fight and he can whack as well. So I think that would be a tough fight for Fury. Don't get me wrong, I'd expect Fury to come through 100%. I'd expect Fury to beat Yoka, obviously. Hunter's another tough fight because Hunter is technically sound and he's technically way better than Deontay Wilder. So I think that'll be another tough fight. But again, I fancy Fury to come through. I think he'd stop Hunter late. I think he'd stop Yoka middle rounds as well. But yeah, I think those are the type of opponents Fury should be looking at for December. And yeah, they'll be getting up. Hopefully, Fury and Joshua will get it on next year. Just to add, in the Daily Mail article, it said that it was earmarked for the spring at Wembley Stadium. I personally just can't see that happening at all. I cannot see how this fight happens in Britain in 2021 with a full crowd, even if you had it in December next year. I can't see, with what's going on in the world with COVID, especially in the UK, with even more restrictions coming in place very soon, I can't see how this happens in the UK. I think the best they could hope for is if things started to improve in the next month or so and the cases start to go down and stayed that way going into the spring, if it got to April or something and the fight took place in April, 90,000 capacity Wembley, maybe if they did it for a limited crowd of 30,000 or something like that in the spring and up the ticket prices, maybe that might be possible. But realistically, I think it's either Saudi, the same place where the Ruiz rematch happened, or that Macau place that Bob Arum went on about as well. I think those are the two places where it's likely to take place, unless there's a dramatic drop in COVID cases across the country. And the final thing to finish off the video with, where does Deontay Wilder go from here? Now that the fight looks like it's definitely off, in my opinion, indefinitely. Now, we all know Heyman is not, for his comeback fight, going to match him up against anyone outside of PBC. I think that is pretty obvious. So, who does he fight? In my opinion, Wilder should be looking, if realistically, you're looking at the likes of Adam Kawanaki, Charles Martin potentially, although Charles Martin's got ambitions to try and get that rematch with Joshua through the IBF route, but that is not going to happen soon. But I think you should be looking at the likes of Kawanaki and Martin to fight next. And then maybe, you never know, maybe a potential Ruiz-Wilder fight, maybe. I personally would fancy Wilder to beat Ruiz, I said that even before he got beat off Fury. I fancied Wilder to beat Ruiz. It all depends if Wilder is psychologically damaged from that Fury second fight. Will he ever be the same again? I'm not too sure. We're going to have to see. It's been radio silence from him, apart from a few bits and bobs every now and again. It's been radio silence for 7 months since his defeat to Fury, and through the COVID pandemic and everything, he's hardly spoken. So yeah, just to wrap things off, that's me just basically, talking about this whole situation, all the reports that came out today about Fury Wilder potentially being off indefinitely, and paving the way for a Fury-Joshua fight in 2021. And where does Wilder and where does Fury, and who does Fury defend his title against in a warm-up match in December? If we're saying what we're being told is true, and what Warren was saying on BT Sport tonight, that Fury wants to fight this year. Let's hope Warren sticks to his word about that, people. Yeah, because in my opinion, we need Fury out this year. I think it's just totally in bad faith if he's not brought out till next year. They've had months to sort this out. I think it's a bit, to be honest, I think they've handled this in a bit of a farce, to be honest. I don't get why why Las Vegas? It's going to be difficult with crowds and college footballs. Look, Davis Santa Cruz has been made limited audience in Texas. Why not have the fight at the Arlington Stadium in Texas with a limited crowd in December? But it's too late now. They put Spence Garcia on there, so that ain't happening. That's on December the 5th. Joshua's on December the 12th. And they're not going on December the 19th. So Fury Wilder in the States, forget it, people. It ain't happening this year, basically. So yeah, that's just to wrap all things off. Just me commenting on this whole situation. And yeah, my next video, which will basically kickstart the new boxing channel off next week. I'll be back with a preview Friday next week for Lomachenko against Lopez. And I might do a little sneaky preview for Lewis Ritson against Miguel Vasquez next week as well. I might sneak that in there at the end of that video as well. So yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Do hit the subscribe button. This is James Fernie. I'm out of here. I'll see you later.